G'day guys, I'd like to step you through today the differences and the comparison between our Trade Series 3.5 tonne trailers, flat top, and our Pro Series 4.5 tonne trailers. So let me step you through. We'll start at the chassis and we'll start with our Trade Series. So it's a 3mm, 350 grade pressed C-section chassis, as opposed to the Pro Series is a 5mm, 4.5 tonne pressed C-section chassis. So 4.5 tonne, 3.5 tonne. On the front, obviously the couplings will go to suit. So 3.5 tonne will be a 50mm ball or a DO 35 or whatever the customer picks there. The Pro Series, if you're going for 4.5 tonne, will be the 70mm ball, the pintle hitch, or the DO 45 or whatever you specify. Jack stands and jockey wheels are completely optional. These customers here have both opted for the jack stand, but you can get a jockey wheel as well. We run a heavy duty 500 kilo rated jockey wheel and you can put it on both. So that's really an optional accessory depending on what you want to do. So that's the chassis, that's the main differences. Let me step you into the running gear, the wheels, axles, hubs and suspension, and I'll explain a little bit of differences and where we are there. So let's jump inside and have a look at that. Righto guys, let's have a look at the wheels, tyres, axles, hubs and suspension. So Trade Series 3.5 tonne trailer comes standard with the 3.5 tonne 8-leaf rocker-roller suspension. On the Pro Series, as a 4.5 tonner, it comes with the 4.5 tonne 9-leaf rocker-roller. Wheels, we run a 14-inch as standard, a 14-inch with a 195 tyre on it in the Trade Series. In the Pro Series, we run a 16-inch 245 tyre, so it's just a bigger tyre, bigger load rating. The hubs, on the Trade Series here, we run a 10-inch hub and 10-inch brake hub. On the Pro Series, we run a 12-inch braked hub. Being a 4.5 tonne, you need more braking capacity. The 3.5 tonne, you don't. The axles, we run a 50mm square axle on our Trade Series, and we run a 65 square axle on our Pro Series 4.5 tonne. So that's the difference. So, but having said that, the running gear is upgradable. So if you opt for a Trade Series, you can actually opt for the heavier springs, heavier axles, bigger wheels and tyres and bigger hubs. So that is completely up to you. But as a standard product, when you're comparing apples with apples, that's the differences. So that's pretty well it for the chassis and the running gear. Now we'll step into the trays. This is where they visibly look a bit different. So let me step you through the features and benefits of both options and let you make the choice what's the right trailer for you guys. So let's have a look at the Trade Series. So once again, steel tray, 100% fabricated steel tray. However, it has an aluminium 6-tonne extruded floor plank flooring, whereas the Pro Series, although it's still a steel fabricated tray, it has a welded in 3mm Checkerplate floor. So there's a couple differences there. Obviously, 4.5 tonne in your Pro Series, you need a heavier floor. You're gonna put it through the paces a bit more than the 3.5 tonner. So that's the difference. Drop sides, we run a extruded alloy drop side for our Trade Series with the steel end caps. Pro Series, we run a 2mm steel folded drop side. So these will take more of a beating than your aluminium ones, but they're also heavier than your aluminium ones. So if you're after that 4.5 tonne trailer, you don't mind a couple extra kilos in your drop sides. Whereas when you're pulling around 3.5 tonne, you know, weight is obviously something of concern. The hinges, we run a welded hinge on our Pro Series, fully fabricated welded hinge. On the Trade Series, we run a bolt-on hinge. So looking at the sides, more heavy duty, but it's horses for courses at the end of the day. Depends on what you need for your situation and your application and what you're going to do with the trailer. Let's have a look at the racks and the differences between the Trade Series and the Pro Series. Trade Series, we run a 50x50 RHS rack. It's got receivers at the rear, middle and front, so you can put 3 racks, 2 racks, 1 rack or none. Completely up to you. The Pro Series, we run a 100x50 RHS rack with receivers at the front, mid and rear as well. So Once again, you can run 3 racks, 2 racks, 1 or none. So that is the main differences, visible differences between the two products. You can have a look at it here, you can see exactly what you're looking at. When it comes to accessories, underbody boxes, drawbar boxes, tie down points, canopies, field service toolboxes, gas bottle storage, all those accessories run across both models and fit to both models. We run a modular product design here. That way we can spec up each trailer depending on what you want to achieve. So accessory wise, you're not limited between the two products, but they are designed for 4.5 tonne and they're designed for 3.5 tonne. So many customers these days opt for the heavier trailer and they still register it at 3.5 tonne because they want something that's built to last and they want to give it a real workout. Whereas a lot of other customers that we have that are running around on bitumen roads predominantly say that the Trade Series is more than adequate. It's still 3.5 tonne rated. It's got a lighter tear weight. So yeah, both products have its own fit and it's really up to you guys to analyze the two and make the decision for yourselves. So the other thing with our Pro Series and our Trade Series flat top options is both of these can be converted to a tipper. So it's not a completely separate trailer, it's the same trailer. We add a tipping hinge at the rear on either option, so you can upgrade them to a tipper. So predominantly we'll run a 9 tonne Ram on our heavier duty Pro Series trailer, and on our 3.5 tonne Trade Series we would run a 4 tonne Ram. But once again, they are interchangeable and you can upgrade to whatever you want. But both flat tops can be both upgraded to a tipper the same way, very simply and very easily. You can come back and do it later, or you can order it from the factory with the tipper kit included. So once again, versatile, modular, and it's up to you guys what suits your needs. So let's have a look at the back end of these two trailers, Trade Series and our Pro Series. Apart from visibly looking different, one of the main differences is the Pro Series comes with integrated ramp storage options. So at the moment on this particular trailer, it's just got an infill panel in there, but these can be switched out and put a door in there. So you can fold them down, put your ramps underneath and stow them underneath. On your Trade Series trailer, that is not an option. The way it is mounted is completely different to the Pro Series, and we don't have the room underneath to integrate ramp storage under the tray. So that is one major difference. Pro Series, integrated ramp storage if you need it, and that's an absolute must, then this product's for you. If it's not a consideration, it's not an issue, then Trade Series might be the option for you. So yeah, that's one of the bigger differences when you look at the rear of the trailer. That's what we're looking at. So